Hey everyone, welcome back to the Spring 2015 North American Challenger Series. I'm David Victurli. Alongside me is the wonderful Aiden Zyrian Moon. And did you know it's been over 9,000 minutes since we last saw you guys in the NA Challenger scene?
What? 9,000?
Yes, in fact, that's the case. Now let's take a look at today's action. First up, it's CLG Black going up against NME Esports. Then TSM Darkness will face off with Final 5, and we will conclude our broadcast day with Team Fusion going head-to-head with TDK. Now, 5 games have been played for every team now. We are halfway through the Spring Challenger season. Here are the standings. NME Esports is in first place. They have been all season long at 4-1. Got a quick tie for second with Final 5 and TDK at 3-2.
Then it's CLG Black and Team Fusion knotted up in 4th place with TSM Darkness in sole possession of last with only a single victory. Only the top 4 teams will qualify for the Spring playoffs with a guaranteed LCS spot on the line.
Yeah, winner of playoffs in the LCS for sure in the summer split. Now, the regular season is a 5-week, 10-game round robin where the teams play each other twice every week. Here's what happened last night when NME Esports faced off with CLG Black with a share of first place up for grabs.
And as you can see here, little bit of a reverse there. We did see NOCS in the mid lane on that Victor. And anyway, you can see the pick comp here that came out. The CLG Black's comp is actually correct on this screen. You can see it there. This is a composition that wants to get to your backline, but they got to the backline, but then they were able to trade places, and they got their backline completely blown up. But that's pretty much irrelevant. We're going to get into the game right now and show you how the action went down.
Started actually with a lot of really good plays by FLICKR. He actually snuck by all of the Callista Spectres. So CLB are just baiting. They're keeping him interested. Then saying, okay, Stick say, oh crap, Summoner Heal. And then here comes Vi.
Yep, right into them. Body drop. Had a good black shield there, and that's going to be a theme of these replays too, is that his black shields have been on point this game. But FLICKR early is just taking advantage of the aggressive lanes of NME.
Yeah, and these guys never really warded. You had some Spectres on one side. This one just no wards at all. Good job saving the Assault and Battery by Vi to make sure he can chase after the flash. But you had counterplays too.
Yep, body drop once again, getting thrown in, and there's the black shield that's going to put Kenny in a lose-lose situation. He has to eat the Soul Shackle, and he can't peel this Morgana because of the lack of magic damage to break it, which allows Otter to just continue the chase.
I gotta say, Callista Morgan is one of my favorite duo lanes right here. Quick 2-0 despite being down 0-1 in the laning phase. Just Zerkry is really all you need to win that fight.
Right over the wall there with the Q, and this is going to be another perfect black shield onto Inox. It doesn't get popped by Lissandra, and he eats the Vi ultimate, but he's immune to it, and he turns it around on Stixxay, who's immediately obliterated by Victor.
Yeah, the Abyssal Scepter early from Victor really helping him stay alive. Level 10 on Body Drop meant he got a level 3 black shield on him. This point is pretty much cleanup there for NME, and it's really is the start of a big comeback for them. They're up 5K after this fight.
Yeah, and CLB, they had a pick comp, but NME had zone control with Victor, Morgana, and the Maokai. This is a fight that started 4v5. Stixxay just runs up now, and by the time he gets there, FLICKR has already been taken off the map. He started this game 5-1, and he ends it 5-4.
So wonderful plays, and wonderful plays right here by NME. This is the game-winning push. A couple more Morgana shoves, why the heck not, attack someone in, but at this point the game is just very snowballed. The 7-1 and 5 Otter doing a whole bunch of work. 8-1 and 6 now, but really not much else you can do. Kill the Nexus, and that was NME Esports making their record 4-1 after this game.
Slightly different game here from NME. They didn't have the early pressure. It was all from CLG Black. And then NME took a couple good team fights with the peel back, and the black shields from Body Drop were definitely what kept them in this game.
Yeah, I do really like how Victor's being played right now. He's this sort of mid-range burst mage. He's almost like how Karthus is like the mid-range sort of mage carry. Just Victor, you have to actually kill him first, whereas, you know, killing Karthus didn't matter too much. But I like that he's back in, or actually now actually in the gameplay here. Yeah, and overall, really good play. FLICKR, you can see a scoreline 5-4-1. He did get his team ahead early. Typical CLG right there. Good early game, but not enough really done by these guys mid-game with NME.
Otter's scoreline there also doesn't reflect the way he was playing that game. He was even in CS to the Sivir of Stixxay, but Otter was completely pressuring him the entire game. When I watched it, he's constantly chunking Otter to Stixxay to about half HP over and over and over again. But, you know, props to Stixxay for being able to farm it out.
Sure. On
that side.
Yeah, but overall, though, NME Esports looking amazing. And actually, joining us to talk about this match is the manager, Angel Vigil. Welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing really good. How are you?
Pretty awesome, actually. So I got to talk to you because we've seen you around for like basically ever in the Challenger season, Challenger Series, I should say. Multiple teams, like a dozen or so over the last couple of years. What drives you to keep managing these Challenger teams?
You know, I think I really enjoy it. I've been like you said, I've been doing this for almost 4 years now. I want to say since before the LCS was even a thing. I really enjoy it, and I think for me the main reason I keep doing it is because I keep getting really good opportunities to do it.
And you've been saying you've been getting all these opportunities. This is a team now that you have with NME who are in first place. Is this the team with the best opportunity to make it into the LCS? And if so, why?
You know, every time that I've gotten really close, I've said, you know, this is my chance, this is my shot to get in, and the teams have always been really good. But you know, there's something different about this team. You can see it a lot in our scrims and in our play. The team's really confident. The team is really the team really meshes well, and it really shows in our play on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So yeah, I think this is our shot. We have a really great support staff. We have a really great organization backing up a really great roster, and I think that's the recipe for success.
Well, you guys have actually had a couple of interesting ingredients in that recipe. NACS is a player you've managed for a while. He used to be a top laner. He's now with you in the mid lane. Are you surprised that he's actually done so darned well in his new role this year?
No. I'm not surprised. I've worked with NACS for over a year before he joined Evil Geniuses, and the kid is good. He's good at League of Legends, and you know, I don't think the topping for him was. I think he played it out of necessity. He played it because the teams that he was able to get on were they had mid laners, or they had other roles, and that was his shot at getting on top tier teams and really showing his stuff. So I think after coming out of the LCS and stepping down from Evil Geniuses, he realized that I have a lot more leeway in the teams that I can get, and I'm gonna take advantage of that. I'm gonna go into a role that really showcases my ability. And you know, when he stepped down from Evil Geniuses, I literally messaged him on Skype that same day. I want you to try out for my team. I want you on my team again. So yeah, I knew he was gonna be good, and I was really confident in picking him up.
Well, definitely confidence being one of the key traits then of your team, and you with your players as well. Final question for you. You're in first place right now. You look to have a pretty good run for the playoffs, and if you get first place, you join the LCS. What is the biggest hurdle for you guys from transitioning from right here to a few weeks down the line where you actually would qualify? What keeps you from being number one?
For being number one in the NACS or in the LCS?
Yeah, what would keep you? Like, what is your biggest hurdle to get through to make sure you take that number one spot and qualify?
You know, I think at this point, the way that we've been playing, if we can just keep doing it, I think the number one spot is ours for the taking. I don't know if that's arrogant to say, but I think as long as we keep playing the way that we're doing and keep playing our game, we'll take that one spot. But if we get ahead of ourselves, if we start preparing too soon for LCS, then I think that's when things can start getting a little jumpy.
All right, fair enough. Angel, thank you very much for your time. Good luck in your match tonight, and with any luck, we'll be seeing you in the LCS as well in the summer split.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna get ourselves into the game here. We, of course, did see a little while ago that NME Esports did win the first game against CLG Black. They're 4-1. They're the top team in Challenger right now. They're the team to beat right here. Coming into Game 2, CLG Black have had a sort of middling season so far, 2-3. They could go top 4, they could go bottom 2, and picking up wins over NME would be a good way to show that they're going to get to the playoffs.
Yeah, and right now, though, between this matchup, CLG Black have a very eerily similar play style to CLG Prime in the LCS.
Yeah.
Really good early game. They have a top laner who pulls bans, who can play some carry things. His champion pool's a little smaller. They also have an AD carry who goes really hard and flashes in for the back line sometimes, though. So extremely similar. But the fact they have this really good early game was very surprising to me, because NME usually doesn't give up early game leads off of trashy making a bunch of early plays.
Yeah.
FLICKR actually had his number that game and was at the scene of the crime minutes before he was. So that's their key to victory here. But they also fall into the pitfall that CLG falls into, where their team fight needs work. And that's NME's strongest point.
That's true. So we'll see if ThinkCard can grow them that lead, and then these guys can actually keep it by fighting correctly, kind of the big thing they've got to do. You talked about Lurler a bit too. I just want to solidify that a bit. Yeah, Aurelia and Rumble being the bans that were aimed at him. He also mains a bunch of Riven, but in my talking to him, he says Riven's no good in competitive, though I badgered him into maybe playing it here, but unlikely. But the repeated Rumble and Aurelia bans, all the same. Meanwhile, NME Esports.
Triple ban.
Yep. Gonna see 3 bans again at Trashy. He played Lee Sin for it last time.
Yeah, this was what was banned against him last night, and he picked Lee Sin.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is there's so much still open. J4 still open. Vi still open. They're going to first pick the Lysandra for themselves here on CLG Black's side. Easy did have that champion previously, and he didn't have a great showing. 2-5-1 on that yesterday.
Well, maybe he can sort it out here. Certainly, CLG Black getting hard engaged can help them pick up team fights. That, like, look, just on a guy, blow him up. Maybe we'll be able to work it out for the rest of the team fight. So, still keeping some similar champions. NME Esports once again looking for that Morgana for body drop. Is this every single game for him now? Like, he's maybe had... Nope, every single game. 6 Morgana games in a row. And they're still not trying to ban that away from him.
I mean, it's how they function. Body drop hasn't been tested on a different champion. They'll triple ban Trashy. They'll ban Inox as champions. It's like, whatever. They have to get rid of those. He can play Morgana every game. Nobody's throwing bans at him. Yeah. Trying to see what else he plays. He is a very good Thresh player as well. He has a very deep champion pool. But if he's just going to stick with the formula, then it's fine.
All right, and of course, more formula in peeling for Otter, the current KDA leader of the Challenger Series right now. They've got a Maokai as a good defensive tank, some good lockdown, and honestly, even if you tried to dive Otter, those 2 champs are great at keeping your backline alive when this dive does come in, and CLG Black, unsurprising, more fuel to the fire. Jarvan also jumps in. Graves helps them all die. Yep. CLG going in.
CLG Black going forward. Another composition that wants to just get through your front line, get to your back line, and blow them up. But it's another body drop Morgana. He's really good at that champion. He'll be able to block an ultimate from Lysandra. He can block a knockup from J4. No magic damage there to pop it. So if they go with a very low magic damage comp here from CLG Black, they won't be able to get through the Black Shield in time to lock down their target. Yeah, well, at the very least, they picked a better matchup. If they assume Kalista comes back in for Otter, Graves better in lane, Jarvan less bad to Black Shield than Vi. So, like, you can see CLG Black, but they kept the bans the same. They're picking with better knowledge what their opponents are doing, so it would fit in a little bit better. That said, of course, NME don't have to play Kalista. Oh, look, a Sivir Hover. She's pretty good against Graves. In fact, this team, if they went for a very similar comp, just subbed in Kalista versus Sivir, you'd have a great team fighting team that can pick their battles very cleanly. Yeah, I think they're going to hold off on it still. Like, Kalista's still a very good champion to pick into this, especially since you just get Cataclysmed, you hop right out of it. True. No problem there. He just has to get through the laning phase against the Graves. And he did a really good job yesterday of having a really good matchup against the Sivir for himself. Yeah. That's one of the easier matchups for Kalista. That's true. So the question now is, they've blind picked their Victor, that they assume it is Lysandra mid. There's always the chance of the flex pick for CLB. Lorlo, though, does play a little bit of Lysandra in solo queue, so there's a chance he does swap that one around. And in fact, they swap a little bit. Kennen coming in and Annie support. There's actually a lot of interesting interactions here with Victor mid. Victor mid is probably the mid-range trading champion that is tier 1 right now. Yeah. Because he gives himself a shield, he takes damage from you, and then it empowers his next auto attack too. Yeah. Also, if Lyssandra's trying to come in on him, he just throws down his gravity field where her E indicator is. It's true. So there's a lot of tools he has against Lysandra, and they're both mid-range mages. Lysandra cannot damage him unless she is able to be returned damage on. That's true. I guess you could maybe Q through a wave, but like that's he can E you at that time too. That's like, fair. Yeah, you're right. You're always in trade range. So a shorter range mage in Lysandra facing a shorter range mage in Victor. One thing I'm surprised by is that we're still only seeing Annie as a support. Like, we're seeing the Kennons come in for the top lane, like more mages coming out, but Annie's still a pure support right now in competitive League of Legends from what I've seen. And judging by solo queue, I don't feel like it's going to last too long. I'm seeing more and more Annies come out in the solos, but that's not in this game. Doesn't really matter here. NME Esports to make their last choice, and they pick some long range in here. So Tristana, for extra siege power, will be played by Otter. I actually like that, the fact that they're going to go for turrets here, and the fact that it's a little safer than a Kalista, because Kennon's going to get on you, Kennon's going to pop the Black Shield, Annie can pop the Black Shield, a lot of things here. So if he gets stunned, he can still leap away if he buffers that ability ahead of time. Yeah. Tristana also a good counterpick to Kennen specifically, in that you just knock him right back out. He's like, Slicing Maelstrom! Boop! Darn! Nope. Never mind. So Zhonya's timing going to be really important to not get hit by Buster Shot. I hope we get to see that interaction once or twice during this game, but NME Esports, I like this because you talked about turret sieging power, and then if you do go in Buster Shot and the aforementioned Victor like Maokai Morgana, difficult team fight
to deal with from NME Esports.
Yeah, the team fight here from NME Esports is a little like zone control-y. They want like the Morgana, the Maokai, the Victor, very great zone control. And they also have some disengage with Trashy. So their team fight's really good, but I actually think CLB has an even scarier comp.
Really?
Like Graves, Annie, Lissandra, Kennen, J4.
Jarvan.
That's a pile on top of you composition.
Yeah.
They want to be right in your face and on top of their carries immediately. And there's really no way to stop them from doing that. You can get one person out, but the rest of them are just going to pile in with stuns. All aboard!
I like that quite a bit. Yeah, I guess we have to see. I mean, because of the early Morgana pick by Body Drop, there's no Black Shield to like prevent the Lee Sin kick, Tristana kick. So we will see. I do think there are the elements for NME. So you like CLB's comp. I actually like NME's more.
I like the comp for team fighting, but I feel like
you just think CLB's scarier.
NME's comp, I just think that CLB's comp is scarier for team fighting.
That's fair.
I feel like NME's is better for zone control. Like if they get to the dragon first and stuff, I think this is a better comp for that.
But they can't force the issue.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, I feel you on that one.
Like they're gonna have to wait for CLB to come into them, and then they counter engage by zoning off certain people from the fight.
With the exception of Morg binding, that's their one way in. They can't force it otherwise.
Take it.
Take it. Do it. I mean, it reveals nearby teammates. He knows no one's there.
This, by the way, this is 5.4. So, rip big wards. I missed those guys already.
Oh, that's true.
They always look so cuddly too.
Really?
They just look. They
were
like
big,
they were
like
huge. They're like, look at me, and there wasn't like big, like intimidating. It's like big. Look at me, and how dopey and huge I am. I love them. I loved them. I actually regretted killing them.
Dopey, huge wards.
Take
I
the
never
wards,
got
not
that
just
feeling
the
out of those wards, to be honest, Aiden.
I loved them. They were great.
Actually, I find it really ironic that you as a jungler liked wards.
Yeah.
Don't they prevent what you want to do?
So like,
which is ruin everyone else's fun?
I started getting the green trinket because I was like, I just want more wards so I can place more of these guys. I'm like, I don't want sweeper anymore.
Did you really turn off your ward skins?
Yeah, I did. It's fair, just for that.
I used the Draven ward.
Like I said, 5.4, so Veigar and Zillion are both disabled for this. Jarvan has some changes, so think hard. He's going to start with 7 less armor and then eventually have 19 less total. So a little moderate tweak to him.
Yeah. Certainly a bit weaker. He's going to take a lot more damage in his jungle Pathic. Kenny already pulling blue buff. They're clearly a little bit practiced in this. And right now, the level 2 Jarvan will keep on jungling. Trashy looks like he shared experience a little bit because he only. Oh no, he didn't actually start Grom.
You want to, like you can see here, immediately the supports are showing up mid lane. They don't want to be around their AD carries soaking experience until later.
Kenny's got a stun.
Oh, he's got a flash. He's got a stun.
Flash Q.
Woo!
I like that he started Q, found a way to stack up the stun, and there's no way you can actually dodge it. You must flash to get away.
Yep. And he trades his own flash for Inox's. And Inox is going to have constant pressure on him. So the next time Kenny comes around, if he does, this is going to make Inox have a worse situation. But he did bring cleanse, right? So next stun that comes out, he'll just cleanse it and walk away, and he might not get burst, but he does have that possibility.
Yeah, we've got to be afraid. You can't cleanse anything that Jarvan does to you, so be afraid. Kenny does tank the first few dragon shots, and it will be the first dragon 3 minutes 11 seconds in, going to CLG Black right here.
To be a little honest too, I'm surprised he didn't cleanse because it has about a 100-second cooldown less than Flash.
Yeah, I guess maybe he was just afraid of the follow-up from Jarvan.
And the less damage you take, the better.
That's true.
So
you want to get in that early lane. If you lose a wave this early, you immediately lose all your trades. Think Card though, unable to do his own red buff, so
it's that 7
armor. Very
armor.
slow start.
That's 7 armor.
Sure. No, I'm not disagreeing with you. It definitely affects him. But 2 greens and a pink ward bought by Think Card. He's actually going to take a long time before he gets any real items in. Kenny, early defensive pink ward. So we can watch if there's any secondary invade, since that's still the weak side of the map right now. And in fact, there is going to be a secondary invade.
There's a lot of possible plays here because NME putting on the pressure very early on. They can just walk straight up because they're starting to zone them out. They do have a ward in this brush. They're going to see body drop.
This felt like a miscommunication. Body drop could have dark bound the scuttler to make that drop a little bit faster. They take a little bit more time.
There they go. They can pile straight through. There's the flash.
Flash rocket jump slows down Lola. They exhaust Kenny, though. They want him as the target. Annie, of course, has already lost her flash. They know that, and they give the kill away. Almost Otter. It's actually Flares who gets it. Enemy start out well.
NME with the early game pressure matching sorry, I do that every time. Counter Logic Gaming Blacks. But look at this in the mid lane, not to be outdone. No flash here.
Cleanses away the root, but guess what? It's a lot of damage coming in towards NOX. He's the guy who cleansed, and Easy gets the kill. A quick trade back. You mentioned his flash being down. That shows right there.
Yep. It's one of those things where if you'd used the cleanse on the first one, we'd had your flash available for the next one. He was still sitting on biscuits too. So hindsight's 20/20, but you can see in the top lane, they're still applying pressure. Lorlo has his flash available, so does Flares.
Flash root comes in, but Kenny's right behind him though. Will it be enough to stun him back? Looks like no. They just get his flash and trade 1-for-1 on that.
They're immediately sieging the turret though with the Tristana. 3 members here versus 4, but they do have Easy wrapping around the side.
And ThinkArt's here as well. It's going to be a 4 versus 4. Easy wants in. He does have his flash.
Well, there they go.
Gets on in, gets a 2-man knockup. They keep going for this one, but will it be enough damage? Easy's going to lose his life for this one. Otter got the reset on the rocket jump. The binding hits. Lorlo's in a really bad spot. He's going to go down as well. Do they want ThinkArt on top of this one? No, just a 2-for-0, so CLB heavily overextend.
5 minutes in, 4 people versus 4 in the top here, and they end up with 2-for-1. 2-for-0 trade, actually.
Yeah.
Overall.
It was a 1-for-1 as various people died elsewhere on the map, and then just a 2-0 on the overchase. And CLB wanted that fight. Easy flashed in, and it just was not the fight to have. Inox doesn't even have to match the roam, and makes Lissandra lose a full wave of minions right here.
Yeah, the fact that Stixxay was bottom lane just farming away allowed Inox to not have to show up to that fight. He backed, so Easy roamed and tried to apply pressure. Gets rid of the Black Shield, flashes in for the root, but immediately gets locked up by Flares, and Flares, that was a big part of that, is that they immediately jump on that target. That's the communication that NME has, and you're talking about it, their team fight is their strongest point. If you group up for team fights at 5 minutes, you get to accentuate that strength.
Yeah, they picked the target, they bursted him down. The rocket jump resets definitely helped quite a bit, and it was just a great team fight. So NME Esports stymieing CLG's normal advantage and certainly succeeding in creating their own. This is the scary team right here in Challenger, man. They are 4-1. And they're already poised with a nice 1,000 gold lead in their 6th game of the North American Challenger Series. We'll see that Stixxay chilling in the bot lane the whole time. 60 minions, only player without any kill participation or death participation in the game. He's been farming. That bot lane turret's almost dead. Yeah.
Stixxay's trying to get his carry pants on for this. But meanwhile, they're down 1,000 gold. Don't know if he can make that up in CS. It'd be very, very difficult to.
He got like 200 back compared to Tristana. Not exactly as much, to be fair. And we can see top lane is taking some damage. Tristana, by the way, one of the only AD carries that actually has a way of bypassing the sort of pseudo-Doran shield, since it actually doesn't block damage. I think it's called Fortification. It doesn't block damage from explosive shots. So she actually, if she's on a post, it's actually one of the better turret killers. But now it's past 7 minutes. Auto attacks are full power anyway. BF sword there on Otter, gonna knock those down fast.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, Fortification on turrets makes it so that before 7 minutes, the outer ring of turrets all take 30 less damage from champion basic attacks.
Yeah. That's why they die so darn slowly. But now the first one does go down. The recall for Otter goes for
lightning rush.
Lorlo. Yeah, lightning rush is used through the binding. Ults him in. Nice. Otter knew the damage. Got the burst out. Now bot lane did get traded back, but it's a huge lead overall for NME.
Otter is slowly taking over this game with the 100% kill participation, the BF sword on him already. He was able to shove that lane back up and immediately get the pressure on it. Whereas you can see in bottom lane, Stixxay is yet to back. So now he's going to back and try to just cash in on all of that. But it's one of those situations where you lose that top lane turret, you lose the bottom lane turret, and you call it a wash, but you gave up an extra kill.
Yeah, you did. The gold is really bleeding away from CLG Black right now. You're going to see the recall come in and easily match items. Otter, despite not getting to completely free farm, is ahead in gold compared to Stixxay. You can see the boots of speed, little brown bags down there, keeping him ahead. And the question is, with this really strong sort of early game-ish team comp, right? Like Kennon's not 6.
No.
Right? There's no Cataclysm either. So any given team fight's actually pretty darn good for NME Esports. And with this early game, mid-game Tristana sieging power, I don't see CLG Black really stopping that. You can see Otter is already waiting to try to make plays mid lane.
Yeah, Tristana just wants to take turrets. That's how you get your team the gold lead with her, because her base stats are kind of questionable at the moment. But she just shreds turrets.
Yep.
She can chunk somebody out if she's left unattended as well.
Especially with Ayaj Rush, you get a lot of early attack damage items. turrets don't respect armor penetration. Like, everything kind of goes into you max E, you hit level 9, you buy 75 attack numbers to items, and turrets gonna die. And that's really gonna happen here for Otter.
Immediately sent to the bottom lane to start shoving this out. And here's the thing too, is CLG Black sent their bottom lane mid. So they're gonna try to surge or siege down this turret.
I don't think they can pressure Victor that easily, but we'll see.
He's not there. And he won't be there for a couple seconds. They'll clear this wave up.
Right.
They might get some damage on it, but the question is, do they exchange? Yeah, they're going to get turret damage on this for a tiny bit, but they back off.
They don't have the ward control. Look at this. Look how many blue dots are on the river, really. There's one in the top left side, and like you can kind of see Morgana, but really so many of Lee Sin's gank paths are unknown, and they have to be afraid because of that.
Yeah, they have to respect it. They can't do anything in that mid lane, so they're wasting time here.
I like that CLG, though, have sent Lissandra bot lane. It's a long lane, that bot lane now, and they know that's what's being pressured. So a champion with wave clear, which is Graves or Lissandra, and a champion with better escapes, meaning Lissandra, is the one holding that turret.
Easy really doesn't have a lot of kill pressure, though, on the Tristana. His first item is a Negatron Cloak.
Ooh,
basically
that makes it a weak landing phase, yeah, but
nothing to her at all.
We'll see if Otter can actually bully the fact that Easy doesn't have any combat stats against him, though. I still think Liss should be safe, but we'll see. You can see right now, Otter is forced to play the wave clear game. He's constantly pushed back behind his own dead turret, so Trist so far being held in check. Trashy, though, wants to stop Kenny. Doesn't quite dodge it. Wow, half health from QQ.
That was a fat Q there. Chunks him out. This gives them complete dragon control. They already have the crab as well.
Yep, he had a ward on the top of the first place, and here we go.
Yep, Easy had to back too. So they know Lissandra's not around. They know that Annie is about half HP or was, so he's taking up on some potion. Immediately get this for themselves and even the dragon score from that early game dragon.
Oh, very well played, NME Esports. They got that one good fight in the top lane, and CLG Black now forced to completely respect the fact that this is the stronger team on the map right now.
FLICKR going for the Stalker's Blade still, even though this is 5.4 and the range nerf has been put in.
Aw, he lost his... Yep.
He sees it, though.
That's the pink ward.
Yep, you saw that earlier. Kenny was trying to get
Raptor buff. Sad face for FLICKR. All right, Otter going to try again for the bot lane. Easy. You can see, clears the wave pretty quickly, walks away from the Dark Binding, and he's close enough to his own turret that there doesn't seem to be an all-in potential. Meanwhile, NME have sent Flares top lane to hold this long lane. There's nothing to pressure. So, you know, give it your least offensive champion. Just sit there, keep your own turret from dying. That's the correct place to put him. Even though Dragon's off the field right now, it's not like he needs to split against it. But
3v1 bottom. They're going to start pressing this down. Jarvan's going to start coming towards this, but they're already going to chunk it out because of the explosive shot. It's going to be half HP.
The question is then, you've got the same matchup theoretically on the other side of the map. Hold on, first off, Flares, just a quick trade. You could theoretically 3v1 the Victor, just like these guys are 3v1ing Lissandra.
Oh.
There's the attempt. Good Black Shield. Liss still wants in. Just clears the ward.
The game's kind of slowing down a bit. People are looking, basically checking the armor to see if there's any cracks in it anywhere. If you keep rotating, eventually your opponent might mess up, or you'll mess up.
That's true.
And then they expose that weakness and take a turret off of it. So it's kind of just been testing back and forth. How many people do we send bottom? How many people do we send middle? And then seeing how the enemy reacts, where they allocate their numbers.
And you mentioned seeing how the enemy reacts right now. We've got a lot of wards available to be placed. Double Sightstone for enemy, whereas FLICKR has just invested in a whole bunch of green wards himself. So I expect the vision to be plenty good, honestly, for both teams. Right now, a bunch of defensive wards in the bot jungle for CLG Black. You can see Tribrush, front of river, near the Raptors. Not really any wards, oddly enough, for NME Esports. I don't see many red spots at all, despite the fact that double Sightstone means they should always have 6, but there's 2?
I think they backed recently.
Yeah, they've all timed out and they needed new stock, but right now the map is dark for these guys. Enemy have to be incredibly afraid of anywhere they go unless they get jumped by Liss Jarvan.
Enemy are getting, like, this is actually very low in terms of ward control from both teams in the type of situation where your turrets are already going down. Like, it's extremely low ward coverage. Usually you'll see persistent wards, because like now, Lorlo cannot push up past the river till they get that scuttler, or until they secure something for him that lets him be safe, or else he's just going to be hanging around that area forever.
We'll see, he's been unable to pressure the top lane matchup. Close to Azonia's Hourglass here for Kennen, just the catalyst for Flares. Lolo's still a level down.
So Otter already has his IE completed. Graves still needs to back, and now it's turret pushing time in the mid lane from Stixxay. Going to be able to take this one out on the next wave. They've put everybody bottom. That's the thing. They've put their numbers there. Otter's trying to get this turret. Easy and ThinkCard trying to show up. Oh!
Wow, the Black Shield comes out in time. Easy gets hit with the Q. Trashy can't get the ult. There we go. Gets it, but ThinkCard should trade back.
Exhaust
and heal keeps him safe. ThinkCard almost under the turret. In comes Lorlo. Puts on the Slicing Maelstrom. Wants body drop. Gets him. TPs come in. Kenny and Graves are there. Trashy goes down to Timbers. It's a 2-for-1 CLG Black.
And that was a huge fight that just exploded out of them getting too close to the turret. Great Black Shield from body drop, but the teleport and the way that they were able to push them off of the turret gave CLG Black the pressure that they needed. Inox, once again, nothing to say about that fight. He just shoves mid.
Wow, I mean, so I understand him being pushed in this time around. He's in a 1 versus 2. Graves, Annie are almost going to always show up first, and good by Stixxay and Kenny to do so. But Inox really low participation now in this game. A bit uncharacteristic for him.
He's got no assists, right? He hasn't helped his team secure anything. He's just been focusing on his own play at the moment. We do see Jarvan still off on the side, though. They're going for Lorlo.
Wow, insta-burst. They know the ult and flash are down. They chop him out. Bot lane's going to fall pretty easily.
That 278 crit.
You got to get it once in a while.
Yeah, it's about a fifth of his HP at this point.
Yeah, it's painful. Well, back to jungle duty here. ThinkCard and Trashy getting their respective red buffs. Thing is, good attribution of resources. CLG Black, the fact that they got mid lane turret despite losing so heavily early game,
it's about to
really is very impressive by them.
Oh.
They wanted to give the buff to Stixxay.
Yeah. This is very interesting. He throws it off. Body drop saw that coming. His Black Shields are amazing.
So good.
Trashy goes really hard just for the kill, but the flash forward for the exhaust and the heal was just an overcommitment. And then Lorlo immediately TPs in with the vengeful Slicing Maelstrom. There's double Maelstroms in this, actually. FLICKR shows up.
Oh, he missed the ward. He wanted to ward hop over.
Yep. So here's the thing is, they overcommitted for that kill. If Trashy was the only one who went forward for that kill to take out Lorlo, it would have been fine for NME.
Yeah.
Because the flash forward for the exhaust and the heal was what put them in a bad position for Otter and body drop.
Yeah. And then a good rotation made it all happen. So, hey, CLG Black caught up a little bit, but off the respawns, NME Esports pushed down the mid lane turret. Tristana Power, Zeal Zertgreaves. Oh my god, that is a powerful, powerful turret killing machine right here with a ton of bonus attack speed. But the thing is, Outer's already gone right now. You've cashed in that gold lead. Now, thankfully for NME Esports, it's right on time for the Dragon to respawn, so they can pick another good objective and get more turret pressure. It's a very fortunate time for them.
The turret damage increase is actually really good on Tristana. Like normally, like okay, you know, you have a little bit more,
whatever,
but this allows her to just make that 100% increase on the 4 hits, just even more. It's ridiculous how much damage she's going to do to turrets.
And especially,
it allows her to operate and do her job better.
Exactly, especially because it's Trist Morg as well. Typically, turret sieging is just a big risk because, like, well, Kennen or Liss or Jarvan or someone's going to jump me and my life's going to be pain. Woe is me, I'm an AD carry player. It's like, well, you got Black Shield, and he timed a Lissandra ulti for you. Yeah, you're going to kill some turrets. And instead of the typical turret taking where you ace the enemy team, then push, it's like, no, they can legit poke turrets down. And I am pretty excited to see what enemy can do with this this turret killing buff.
I want to see what CLB do as well.
Yeah.
When they get fights that they want, because you saw it there where they were like, all right, let's have a 5-on-4. They all collapsed onto that fight, and they made it happen with a 2-for-1. That is a team that you don't want to fight grouped up. So NME, I think they're just going to stay spread out. Like, Inox is not showing up to these fights. That might be a theme for a while.
Just get him so farmed. I mean, Abyssal first, he's not going to take much magic damage. Get your upgrades going, maybe get a Death Cap and a Zonia's, and just...
He doesn't even have one yet, I believe. He's still sitting on the Mark 1.
Yeah. Blue is the next one. When it turns blue, you know he's actually got the ability to upgrade one of those abilities.
It's like a blue, purple, and a red.
I believe so, yeah. Well, he gets the blue buff here. Zaps it. Level 12 Victor. He is ahead of Easy by a little bit, but not for long. There's 12 for him.
It's actually kind of strange that he hasn't upgraded any of them. Because you usually want that first.
Too bad.
You want that first augmented spell usually.
Yeah, it's a more defensive build. He just wants to farm right now, which is a little bit un-Inox-like. He's normally a pretty aggressive player, I would say.
Oh, this is going to be the last outer turret in the game going down, but here we go.
Super
Look at
worth it.
If he gets an explosive charge on that.
He used it for the last wave. He couldn't use it for the turret. He's going to get maybe 2 auto attacks on, but he's got to respect this a little bit. Good job using Stixxay to push top lane turret down. Bot tier 2 incredibly low. I expect it to die this wave. There's a few wards. They can likely track Jarvan.
Everybody's grouped up here, though. Inox is shoving mid. They have to answer it. So now the shove from Inox is actually showing itself in something that NME can take advantage of. They're starting to move towards this bottom lane. Inox has all of this area warded. It would be a 5-on-4, though. Flares now has his TP. Otter
Flash ult combo. Otter, he's going to try to get out with Flash, gets a shield from Trashy, and he does rocket jump away, saves it, but many ults are now down for both sides. What's the follow-up going to be like? Sapling Slow says nothing.
They can't do anything about it. They have to disengage. They can no longer siege that turret. Enemy have to back up, but CLB can't continue the fight either. And now they have to do wave management and clear.
All right, so happy times then. CLG Black managed to stop the push. They can get their waves back in order.
Wow. Inox goes straight from Mark 1 to perfect on his augment.
Oh my god, 138 ability power now from that item, so he's looking pretty decent. He's got the upgraded fast-moving Chaos Storm.
It was giving him 70 before that, and now it's giving him about twice that. Well, he had the prototype and he upgraded it one time. That's what. So it starts purple, then it turns yellow, then it goes blue. Then
prototype Mark 1.
Yes.
Mark 2, perfect.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I don't play enough Victor. I apologize, Victor Mains. I got you wrong. I failed you.
Got it.
We're gonna move on.
It's perfect now. So he skipped one and went for the next one.
Yeah. Skip tier 2.
Yeah. 2,000
gold worth of augments. I think that's correct. And bot lane is under fire one more time. Really quick clear. Enemy Esports knocked that one down. Life's good for them. They forced Graves to recall. He couldn't push top lane anymore. Actually, the weird thing is, I think Stixxay could have kept pushing. They saw 4 guys bot lane. There's no way they pushed out an inhibitor turret. There was an easy way to pressure inhib turret here. They're not going to defend their own jungle in time. Nothing's able to be done for these guys. NME are still the team ahead in gold, and they've got a perfect Hex War Victor.
Yeah, and they have a Phantom Dancer completed on Otter. They're in a very good spot. He's massive right now, like you said. They're in a very good spot to just start taking over the map. Immediately shoot up to a 3.5k gold lead just off of taking turrets and taking advantages on the map.
Good things overall then for the red team.
Ooh. They immediately put all their wards over on the Baron side. Like, we have nothing to do in that bottom side. We've already taken the tier 2. Dragon isn't up for 1:30. Let's go ahead. Let's get Otter this red buff on top of his red buff. Yeah. And then we're going to start forming up, pushing waves, pushing sideways, making sure that they can't do Baron. We have vision of it just in case they want to go for it. And that we leave the option open to ourselves.
So here's the next fun part. 1:15 till Dragon, and because enemy esports all ran top side and were forced to recall and got Baron control, CLG Black have Dragon control. They're actually the guys with a good number of deep wards actually throughout that eastern jungle. That theoretically, it should be so hard for enemy to face check. Otter has no idea if there's a Lissandra in that brush. Walks into it anyway. Actually, we saw Lissandra. No idea if Jarvan's in that brush. How about that?
Yes. He had absolutely no idea if Jarvan was in that brush.
One last recall for a longsword and a Negatron, sorry, Null Magic Mantle. He knows to be afraid of Liss Kennen. Makes an early sidestep for some magic resist. And now the team's going to move forward. They know Dragon's in 30 seconds here. CLG Black would like to stop enemy from getting the movement speed buff from Dragon 3.
And they can combine that with flares, with his Righteous Glory. They now have engaged tools to chase you down when it's up in the open.
Wow.
Like I said, enemy, it's hard for them to force things. But with this, it's a lot easier for them to.
They just walked right in.
Yep.
Nobody stopped enemy esports from just walking into the river and getting ward control back without respecting a single champion.
Loyla would have to TP in, because it would have been a 4v5. And them forcing, like, just the zone control, too, from Victor is really big. They have to respect a lot of what enemy can do as a composition.
Well, that's why your goal is to push the top lane in, then recall and walk your top laner back and use them as a battering ram to get in for vision control and right in full vision. Enemy esports start Dragon number 3. There's TP the teleport flank in from Kennen. Lissandra's going to show up as well.
Oh, he goes straight through.
Goes in, gets picked back over by both of them. But Trashy walks a little bit back into range. Otter gets stunned, and Annie comes in with the timbers. They kill out the AD carry. Trashy falls as well. The AoE comp might be working, but yeah, Victor's got something to say. Trades one back, but it's a 3-for-1 so far. Make that 3-for-2. 2-for-2 now, actually, as another couple of champions fall down. And that fight's a wash.
Yeah, 3 for 3 in the overall.
Yeah.
Just crazy fight all throughout. Stixxay still holding on to his flash. Man, the way they got Kennen out of there.
And then followed him in, by the way. Kennen and Tristana, or Lee Sin and Tristana both jumped back in to slice a Maelstrom.
Kennen's wild ride. He had no idea what was going on, but he loved it. That was great. The fact that Trashy goes in after him, too. Very split fight, very skirmishy fight there, which is more or less what NME want to have happen. They had zone from body drop off on the left. You saw the engage here, and then they immediately boop, boop, and he goes flying off. Then Trashy's like, I'm gonna follow that, and he gets frozen at the same time. Now, body drop is actually keeping Stixxay out of this fight. He exhausts him. They don't take a lot of damage from the collateral damage. So Stixxay and Easy's damage wasn't at full capacity for that fight. And the chains down with the twisted advance. Very well played there. So 3 for 3. Nobody gets Dragon off that, but actually, during that replay, it was just taken by NME.
Yeah.
So they have 3.
All right, so NME Esports sporting that 3rd Dragon for themselves. They now move faster. That's kind of a good thing for these guys. They also hold a 4,000 gold lead, which would make any team happy, really.
The QSS early for Otter. 3rd item, QSS. Doesn't need the Last Whisper. He could go for a Bloodthirster. His Last Whisper, actually, at this point, wouldn't be that great.
He's fighting,
to be honest.
Fighting double Zonias.
Well, here's the thing: is he's fighting double Zonias, but also it would be more beneficial because then he doesn't get blown up as easily. If he has a Bloodthirster, and it's better for hitting turrets.
Yeah.
They don't have armor penetration.
It's true. It's more AD for the gold. So
yeah.
Yeah. So the more defensive item would in fact be BT. We'll see if that ends up being his choice. NME Esports looking to control now the western jungle, but they can't go too far in right now. Mid lane being pushed back up by CLG Black. NME only fashionably late in the party. Looks like they'll be able to stop the turret from going down.
What is Trashy doing? He's off on the side. There's the TP in to the back line. Are they going to start this?
Looks like
FLICKR is going.
Players jumps in onto Lorlo. The battle begins. Inox getting jumped on right away. Almost exploded. Can get the ulti off, but they do trade back right away. 2 members down from CLG Black. Stixxay forced to run, but not before he takes down body drop. But in comes Otter. The cavalry's here. Trashy misses the flash. Otter does not. 5 for 2 enemy.
That fight started off of a TP in plain sight. And CLG Black, they thought they could take the 5-on-5 and crush Inox immediately. He blows everything, and he still lives for a very long time. They're going to go for Baron now on enemy side and try to blow this game wide open.
You're seeing the value of the Abyssal Scepter Rush and Black Shield on top. Just not enough damage got done. Even though Body Drop did not even have Exhaust Up, it simply did not matter. First couple respawns come in. FLICKR is walking across the map, but he will not arrive in time to steal away Baron, I don't think. NME Esports are going to get Baron off of that clutch team fight. Down it goes, and out they head.
Yep. Jarvan off on the side. No way he's able to contest this. They don't have any globals, so no.
Otter could die.
Otter!
He died.
Oh, boy.
So that bind makes that TP really easy, by the way. Kenny's stuck here. And Lorlo's like, I'll defend you!
And then they all clump up here, and then they say, let's go on Inox. Black Shield takes a lot of damage. Ultimate doesn't hit. He still hits his cleanse, too. And then FLICKR is getting obliterated by Otter at the same time. But the big thing was what was happening to Lorlo and the rest of the team. Stixxay trying to burst through them doesn't have the same type of damage output. You see Otter actually takes that extra half second to line up his flash. She's like, Trashy messed it up, but... So he gets the flash, but he dies to red buff.
And yeah, he lost the Baron buff as well. Whoops.
So he's really 6-1 and 6.
No, that's a death. That is a very real death. FLICKR, right away, going in for Inox. He's trying again. The Victor Burst comes out, and it might just trade back. It does. But mid laner for jungler is pretty worth it.
Just the durability there on Inox with the Black Shield on top of everything just makes it so hard to kill him, and he's able to take out FLICKR at the same time. But look at that, Kenny face checks.
He's caught warding, goes down right away to the top laner and the jungler. Baron buffed up NME Esports, looking to push mid.
It's going to be so hard to clear these waves, too. They're going to zone them off on the side. Easy, he's going to have to take the long way route. There's the Righteous Glory.
Oh, almost got him with the root.
That was so close. His flash is almost up as well on Flair's side.
All right, Jarvan's back up right now. It is a 4 versus 4.
They're
How
gonna
long
chunk this turret, though.
does enemy want to stay? They're going to stay for Lorlo, but he pops the Zonians without ulting, which means they can get him right back afterwards. No stun comes out from Kennen. Will they stay for the turret? Looks like the answer is yes. These stuns up Crash, but who cares? It's a Lee Sin jungle with plenty of tank items. Doesn't take any meaningful damage from Easy. Now the inhibitor under fire. It's a 4 versus 4 again as Kenny respawns. Charges up the stun. Enemy walks out with some buffed up minions.
Yeah, they don't even have Inox there, or had him at all for this entire push. It was off the pick of Kenny, the zoning off of Easy and having the inside track on mid lane. They get Lorlo in a very desperate situation. Didn't pop his ultimate, just decides to zone his 0, 6, and 5. He's definitely feeling the pressure this game, and also had 2 bans thrown at him in Champion Select.
I was just thinking about that, is, you know, this is a player who, this is basically his competitive debut. This is his 2nd week playing with CLG Black. First time I've seen him really in any competitive setting. So I don't even see Kennen on his list of most played in solo queue. His top 2 are Aurelia Rumble. He's top 25. Like, this guy is really good, but you take him off his comfort champions. His number 3 being Riven says he doesn't even want to play that in competitive, and well, his performances seem to be immediately lowered here. And he's not the carry he was last week.
Yeah, really taking him off that Aurelia is a big boon for NME. Playing the pick and ban very well. And like Inox, he could play whatever he wanted. He was completely open. He's like, I'm going to play Victor. He could play the Xerath. He could play a lot of different things for himself, but no. He goes with that. Oh, nope, not gonna take it. They are alerted to the presence of CLG Black though.
They're trying to death brush this. Just takes a eats a sapling. But it looks like Dragon number 4 in 10 seconds is enemy's target. Mid inhibitor already open. Mid lane wave already cleared. So nothing for enemy to get pushed around with. Bot lane is open. There's the TP flank one more time from Kennen.
Can't go in.
Make it happen. Goes in, kick back towards Otter. Can he pop the Zonias? Yes, he can. He gets some really meaningful damage, but Think Card already blows up to Victor. It's a 1 for 0. Body drop trades back with the enemy jungler, and you got more happening now. 3 for 1 already. Easy forced to run. There's just no damage left on CLG Black. And that's going to be the 4th kill of the fight.
That is just crazy team composition here from NME. It's so hard to kill whoever has Black Shield on them, and Body Drop is on top of those. He's using his, they have double lockets right now too, so they're shielding, they're extra shielding somebody, they're throwing the Black Shield on him. Inox isn't going down, Otter isn't going down that fight, and the main damage dealers are staying alive for a prolonged time, and they're such high damage at this point.
Yeah, you're forced to engage in on Victor and Tristana, and Maokai sucks at the damage and says, I dare you to. Works out beautifully so far. NME Esports looking at a double inhibitor take off of that team fight. They didn't go for Dragon. They wanted the base to die. Now they can drag on the retreat, but with double inhibitors down, this is NME Esports' game to lose.
Trashy and Otter are doing an amazing job of keeping Lorlo out of the fight for as long as possible.
Yeah.
He's flashing in, and then he's getting kicked out, buster shotted out, and they're just completely aware of that. He W's in to kick him, and then Otter...
Yeah, she's a decent ult, though, is the thing.
Yeah, Otter doesn't actually get his buster shot off there. Instead, they're too worried. They're backing up, trying to stay away from this composition from CLG Black that's diving them. Otter stays alive. Inox stays alive with the lockets, with the Black Shield, and enemy are in a great spot. They're up 13,000 gold. They're definitely looking like the team that when they group up for fights, they know how to play those fights out. And CLG Black are looking more like, we get in a fight, let's dive somebody, but it's not always that black and white. It's not always everybody onto the back line. It's like, wait, there's flares. This 5-0 and 12 Maokai in our face.
Full tank.
And you have to respect the Victor damage while you're getting locked up by flares. And if you get to Otter, what damage are you going to do to him when Body Drop is shielding him? They're getting Body Drop some of these fights, but it's just very chaotic from CLG Black.
Yeah, chaotic indeed. They just can't get the targets down. I'm actually surprised Inox going with Death Cap over Zonias. He's still staying alive through it all the same. Just the really offensive build working out for him. QSS, of course, helping Otter a little bit as well. There's just enough defense here. You mentioned the double lockets as well. The AoE burst, just not enough here for counter Logic Gaming Black. Here's the menu wave for the top side. Again, double inhibitors down mean mid and bot will constantly push in. The blue team will have to eventually retreat and clear those waves, but for now, CLB not afraid. They know Lee Sin's mid. 5v4, they clear the minion wave out very aggressively. They're not letting damage come through.
Baron in 15 seconds. They've already set up for it, having scuttle control. NME, their warding game early is very questionable, but they outwarded CLG Black.
Yeah.
All throughout all stages of the game. They were the ones applying pressure, and now they're going to get a Baron just off of their ward control. They could see every entrance here that NME could possibly take into this pit, and they could set up for it instantaneously.
Now you TP into a ward and try brush above them and walk down the river. Not going to happen. NME Esports, they get themselves Baron number 2 this game. 34-45. They got a nice wave top lane right here ready for them. And at the same time, the rest of CLG Black are forced inside their base due to the inhibitor deaths. This will be turret number 8, and they can go right in for the inhibitor turret as well.
Continuing to push. If they get this third inhibitor, it's only 35 minutes in the game. This is the time that they ended their game yesterday. And look at that. He doesn't even care. Otter goes straight for the turret with the explosive charge.
Chunk.
Off of 1 siege, they get it down to 1/4 HP, and they still have this cannon minion up too. Who can clear this? They're all mid-range.
Without any minions in front, Liz can't reach it.
Yeah, nobody can reach this. They'd have to devote their body to getting all the way up there.
No,
and their front line.
Minions.
Oh, there's the engagement flares. On to Stixxay.
Righteous Glory. Yep, gonna lock up Stixxay. Just buy some time. The turret's already dead. Kenny's got a charge on his head. They re-engage. They blow up Otter. FLICKR's pretty low for this, though. Lorlo also taking a lot of AoE. NOCS kites back safely. His ulti's gonna claim the 2nd kill for himself this fight. It's a 2-for-1 so far. CLB did decent, but Easy's now in the wrong spot. That's gonna be a quick kill. Picked up a double for NOCS in this one. Minions inside the base as well. This could be the game-winning push if they're willing to stick it out. Triple inhibitor down. Looks like they're willing to play it much more safely, though.
They see that they have all the advantages that they need in this game. NOCS is doing monstrous damage, and they're focusing Otter down. Doesn't even get his flash or his heal off. Just eats the pavement, but he can't really, like, there's too many threats.
Yep.
CLG Black, they just have to deal with too many threats on NME, and at this point, Flares is a threat all on his own. Like, you see him dive the backline. He doesn't care. He keeps Stixxay out of this fight forever. They get the turret, and then Lorlo's like, all right, it's time to go off the back of FLICKR. Let's get to the backline. And this time, Easy's trying to get to NOCS, and NOCS is just putting his ultimate down, throwing out his damage, gets huge chunks onto Easy here, and forces the Zhonya's in the mispositioning there of the team. They have to dive the backline, and that's the counter engage too of NME. They have zone control with all of these different abilities that they're able to keep CLG Black away from them once they do engage.
And they're forced to get only one guy at a time. The Bloodthirster now done for Otter. Means he's got a couple extra 100 health to work through. That's already been difficult enough for them. Mid inhib goes back down. Bottom inhib going to be refocused. It actually already has super minions because of how the minion waves were managed before, so they can ride this wave directly into the base potentially.
And if it's not this wave, it's the one in the top lane too. They're just taking so much turret damage here. It's the final stand.
There we go. Next turret number 1. There's the engage. FLICKR does not reach Otter. He's going to blow up first. Already a 2-for-0. This is going to be a very clean and easy fight for NME Esports. Everyone kites out safely. 5-for-0. A triple kill for NOCS. That's going to be the Nexus 2-0 NME Esports. What?
Still, the team to beat. Quadra kill for NOCS on Victor. This guy was playing Nidalee for the longest time, pulls out a Kassadin, a Xerath, a LeBlanc, an Ahri, and now a Victor. He's showing he can play almost anything in that mid lane. He's constantly impressing on.
Adapting well to the champions that seem to be popularized. It's interesting. Okay, first I'm going to talk about NME Esports and how good they are, and then talk about what I like about the Victor pickup overall. So certainly a very strong team. They're in first place by 2 games now. We can see teams catch up throughout the day. 2 more matches, of course, to show if any of the 3-2 teams can catch back up with these guys. Final 5 and TDK being those applicants here if they can get within 1. But overall, great game so far by NME Esports. The Victor pick I like just because even though it's just sort of copying other teams, you can see what comps it works with and say, yeah, we can run that too. That fits our style, and just adapt it. Yep. All right, well, joining us to talk about that victory on the Rift is NME's AD carry, Otter. Otter, welcome to the show, man. Very nicely done, dude.
Hey, thanks.
So Tristana came out for you as like your last pick. There is just like this great sieging champion. What was sort of the reason behind going Trist in this game?
Something to send the cannon out of the fight, and also a hyper carry for the end game. Makes it easy to siege on towers as well.
All right, how hard is red buff?
Yeah, I lag there. A little bit of lag.
Definitely, yeah. The PvE is difficult with ping.
Right. I have a serious question for you, though. We keep hearing about Body Drop and how you handpicked him. At this point, he's AKA handpicked. Why did you pick him? What stood out to you from Body Drop? Because he was somebody who was around for a little bit, but never really impressed to huge like measures.
Honestly, the reason why I picked Body Drop is because I don't get along too well with like just like any supports. And anytime I had him in solo queue, he actually wasn't that impressive, but he was easy to work with. And this was like a year or two ago when we were on an amateur team together, or another amateur team called Infinite Odds. And yeah, we just had good synergy together. So yeah, when they were remaking NME, I was looking when they asked me to find my own support, and then he was looking to try to go professional again. So I asked him.
Nice.
And yeah.
I like that your first impression was he wasn't that impressive.
Well,
yeah,
he was really under the radar for the longest time. The only time I'd ever seen him play something well was Thresh. He had really good hooks.
Yeah, so far 6 Morgan in a row. At some point, I'm sure it'll be banned away from him, but for now, it's great. So next week, as you guys are in first place, you're up against the last place team right now, TSM Darkness. How do you feel that match is going to go?
Oh, I'm pretty confident that we'll 2-0 them.
Just no holds barred. Yeah, 2-0.
Yeah,
free.
I'm pretty confident.
No red buffs get in the way.
Yeah. No.
Jungle might hold you down. Not even red buff will stop you. All right, Otter. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but when we return, we're going to ring the bell for our second matchup between TSM Darkness and Final 5. Don't go anywhere. In comes Lorlo, puts on the slicing maelstrom, wants Body Drop, gets him. TPs come in, Kenny and Graves are there. Trashy goes down to Tibbers.
Oh, he goes straight
Lorlo
through.
goes in, gets picked back over by both of them. But Trashy walks a little bit back into range. Honor gets stunned, and Annie comes in with the Tibbers. 2 members dead from CLG Black. Sticks a force robot, not before he takes down Body Drop. But in comes Honor. The cavalry's here. Trashy misses the flash. Honor does not. They re-engage. They blow up Honor. Think card's pretty low for this, though. Lorlo also taking a lot of AoE. Inox kites back safely. His ulti's going to claim the second kill for himself.